The sound of my footsteps echoed off the empty street, each tap against the pavement growing louder in the cold, suffocating silence. There's something about walking alone at night that makes the darkness feel alive. I had always loved my late-night walks. There was something peaceful about the quiet, the stillness, the world finally asleep. But that night, I felt it, the rawness in the air, the heaviness that made the hairs on my arms stand up. I should have turned back then, but I didn't. I was about to learn that not every shadow stays in the dark. It started subtly, the low hum of the wind between the trees, the distant rustle of leaves as if something, or someone, was moving just out of sight. I brushed it off, blaming my overactive imagination, but then I heard it. At first, I thought it was an echo of my own steps, bouncing off the narrow, deserted street. But when I stopped, it didn't. The sound of slow, deliberate tap-tap-tap continued for a few moments before fading into the night. I spun around, heart hammering, but the street behind me was empty. Only the lamplight stretched long, flickering shadows across the road. I forced myself to breathe, shaking my head. "It's just your mind playing tricks on you," I whispered to myself. I wasn't in the mood for scaring myself with phantom noises, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I quickened my pace, the familiar comfort of home, only a few blocks away. But then, I felt it again, the unmistakable sensation of eyes on me. You know that feeling, don't you? When someone is staring and blinking from the shadows, hidden but very much there. I turned around once more, scanning every dark corner, every bush, every parked car. Nothing. And yet, that feeling of being watched only intensified. Suddenly, I heard the footsteps again, this time closer, much closer. Panic surged through me. I broke into a run, my shoes slapping against the pavement, the wind biting at my face. My breath came out in short, frantic bursts, and with each passing second, the footsteps seemed to match my pace. I could feel them gaining on me, growing heavier, faster, until they were right behind me. I darted around the corner into a dimly lit alley, hoping to lose whoever or whatever was following me. My chest burned, and my legs felt like jelly. I crouched behind a large dumpster, gasping for air, listening intently. The footsteps had stopped. For a moment, everything was silent, too silent. I peered out cautiously from my hiding spot, scanning the alley. Empty. I exhaled slowly, standing up, my body trembling with adrenaline. Maybe it was my mind playing tricks on me after all. Maybe. A voice. It was barely a whisper, soft and raspy, but it cut through the silence like a knife.
Why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I froze, my blood turning to ice. The voice, it was right behind me. Slowly, too afraid to turn, I looked down at the pavement in front of me. A shadow, long and twisted, stretched from behind and merged with mine. I could feel the presence cold and nerving looming over me. Every instinct screamed to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I was trapped, paralyzed in fear, with nothing but the sound of my racing heart pounding in my ears. The voice came again, this time closer, almost touching my skin.
I've been following you for a while. You never noticed me, did you?
I swallowed hard, forcing myself to turn around, dreading what I would see. But when I finally turned, there was nothing. I stumbled backward, gasping, my mind racing. Where was it? Where was the voice coming from? The shadow. I had seen it, felt it. Suddenly, the streetlight above me flickered, once, twice. And then it went out, plunging the alley into pitch-black darkness. I could hear my own shaky breathing, the rapid thudding of my heart. I wasn't alone. Then, I felt it, a cold breath against the back of my neck. I turned, and there it was, standing inches away from me, a figure cloaked in darkness. Its face was obscured, but I could see the outline of a crooked smile, teeth gleaming in the faint light. It was taller than me, its long, spindly fingers reaching out as if to touch me. I stumbled back, but it followed, its movement and naturally smooth, like it was gliding across the ground. "Why are you leaving so soon?" the voice purred, the smile widening. My mind screamed to run, but my feet wouldn't obey. I was frozen in place, trapped in this nightmarish encounter. The figure leaned closer, its icy fingers grazing my skin. I recoiled, but it only smiled wider.
You're not alone. Not anymore.
In an instant, the figure vanished, dissolving into the shadows. The oppressive weight lifted, but the silence that followed was worse. I stood there, trembling, afraid to move, afraid to breathe. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it again, the shadow, watching, waiting.